Hey everyone, as we prepare to host our first Breaking Unhealthy Soul Ties workshop of the year, February 2nd and 3rd, from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only 2 hours, 2 hours in 2 days. It's going to be online. It's a virtual workshop where you can join us from anywhere using your phone, tablet, or computer. I'm getting a lot of inboxes from a lot of you, and you have questions, and I want to give you a few answers about soul ties. You're asking, what exactly is a soul tie? Are there healthy soul ties versus unhealthy soul ties? How are soul ties established? And so I want to answer a few of your questions without giving you the entire workshop, right? The whole reason for having the workshop is to answer those questions and address those issues in a very private, intimate manner. And that is what our workshop is designed to do. But let's start off with what is a soul tie? Well, before we talk about what is a soul tie, let's talk about what is the soul. Because we are three-part beings. We are flesh, we are spirit, and we are soul. And it is the soul, our soul, that is the eternal part of us. And so our flesh, as you can understand, is our body. Our spirit, that's what's connected to God. But our soul is the place that houses our mind, our will, and our emotions. That's the place that embodies our thoughts, our decisions, and all of our feelings. And if you are a person that, you can get in your feelings, you understand that is the soulish part of you. With that being said, we connect with people, and when we connect with them as the triune beings that we are. We connect with them physically, and physically meaning that there are, we connect with people on a sexual level, right? Touching, feeling, kissing, those kind of things. We connect with them spiritually, and then we can also connect with others soulishly. We connect our thoughts, we connect our decisions, and we connect our emotions. Now, when two people that have healthy thoughts, healthy emotions, and make healthy decisions, that's a healthy soul. Two healthy souls come together, then what you have is a healthy soul tie. God intended us intended for us to have healthy soul ties. Case in point is Jonathan and David in the Bible. It tells us that their souls were connected. Their souls were tied together. That's healthy. But as you all know, we live in a fallen world, and so we are, are prone to sinful behaviors, and we have painful situations that we have to endure and overcome. And as a result of that, our soul can be injured. Our soul can be tainted. Our thoughts can become destructive. Our decisions can become very irresponsible, and our emotions, help us God, can be all over the place. Anybody know what I'm talking about? We can get into our feelings, right? And so when you have a person who has an unhealthy soul, unhealthy thoughts, unhealthy decisions, unhealthy emotions that connects with another person, then the person who potentially is not unhealthy can be influenced by the person who has the unhealthy soul. And so if a person who maybe is struggling with pornography, a person who is struggling with anger, a person who is struggling with unforgiveness, when you connect your soul with that person, a person who's struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts, when you connect your soul with that other person, there is a strong potential that your soul being connected to them, you can now be exposed to and experience what they are struggling with. Soul ties are they are initially connected physically and in our soul, but they are maintained in the spirit realm. So then what happens is that soul connection is made, but it is strengthened and it is maintained in the spirit realm. So that means that you may not be physically physically attached to or are connected to that person anymore, but you can still have that spiritual tie with their soul. You can still have that soul to soul connection. So it could be a person that maybe abused you or molested you years ago, and they're no longer a part of your life, but because of the shame, the guilt, the unforgiveness, you can still be connected to that individual. It could be a person that they struggle with lust and those kind of, and maybe when you were with them, you engaged in those kind of behaviors, but you're not with them anymore. But guess what? That soul to soul connection is still there. So you're sitting around going, why am I'm not with them anymore, but why am I still struggling with this? Does that sound familiar to any of you? It could be a person that you are connected to them through the spirit of rejection and abandonment. And I see this a lot with parent-child relationships, that as the 5-year-old, you were rejected or abandoned, and now you're 45 years old, and you can't, your parent maybe had gone on, or maybe they're still alive, but you don't really have that great connection with them. But you're now an adult and you are seeking people's approval, and you need affirmation. You know why? Because you don't want to feel that rejection anymore. But that spirit of rejection still has you tied to them. Or maybe you're on the opposite spectrum of that. You're not a people pleaser, but you're now a rejecter. So you reject relationships. You have an inability to develop intimate relationships. You know why? Because you don't want to feel that rejection anymore. So if I've said anything, now listen, there are some ways that you can potentially identify if you have an unhealthy soul tie. If you struggle with any of these spirits, the spirit of anger, the spirit of depression, if you have guilt and shame, if you are dealing with feelings of abandonment or rejection, yes, even as an adult, we can still feel that. If you have issues with lust, sexual perversion, suicidal thoughts, y'all. See, all of these are spirits that even though you're not with the person, you're not in that event or that experience anymore, you may still be shackled to the very thing you're trying to overcome. Having unhealthy soul ties keeps us from moving forward. And so it sometimes keeps us from leaving one person and being able to cleave, to attach ourselves to another. Listen, and another thing that establishes those ties is if you have been in any way involved with any occult, witchcraft, any of that, psychic, palm readings, yeah, these are things where spirits attach to you and that connection is there. In the workshop, we are going to teach you all about soul ties, how they're established, how they're strengthened, but most importantly, how to break them. We will give you the tools. The Holy Spirit will give you the revelation, the insight to identify the soul ties that you have, and even identify who you have those soul ties with, so you can break them off and walk into the fullness of what God has for you in 2019. The seating is limited, so if I were you, I would not walk, I would run. Run and register today. We got 2 packages. The lowest package is only $25. You get the workshop, is a very engaging, you get the workbook, is a very engaging workbook, and you're going to be required to do homework that evening. It's only 2 hours, and you get time to let this stuff marinate and to let the Holy Spirit speak to you, and then we come back on the following day and we complete it. The $45 package includes the workbook. It also has the Stay Free, which is the book that we give you for how you can stay free after you've broken all the ties. That's also included in the 25. But in the 45, you also get this amazing t-shirt that says freedom looks good on me. So I don't know about you, but freedom looks and feels good to me because I have broken all ties and I am walking in my freedom. I want to see you walking in your freedom too. Register at our website, AnnMariaBenton.com, or click the link or the button below. Share this with others to help them to get an understanding of what soul ties are about, so that those that you are connected to, including yourself, can be free to walk in the fullness of all that God has for you. God bless you, and I pray to see you at our Soul Ties Workshop, February 2nd and 3rd, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.